Ladies and gentlemen, about every 10 days on the channel, we like to sit down and we like to do a double 4-star hero crystal opening. And one of the comments that I get on like every video is, Seatin, how do you get 4-star hero crystals like so incredibly quickly? Because for some people, it takes like a few weeks or a month to get a single 4-star champion. And I wanted to provide a breakdown and an explanation of how kind of at the end game of Marvel Contest of Champions, providing that you're doing the right stuff and if you're in an active enough alliance, that you can get 6 4-star champions every month from just fully forming like shard crystals. And it's totally possible. And I want to explain it and talk about some of the variables. It's really hard to give like an exact breakdown. So the breakdown that we're providing today is a very rough one, and there are a lot of variables to this breakdown because it's really annoying to give like a breakdown for a certain period of time because there are so many events that are either on like a 3-day rotation, a 7-day rotation, an 8-day rotation. So it's a little bit tricky to give like an exact monthly breakdown, but this is going to help you give like a really rough idea of, you know, how to get 6 4-star characters every month from just playing the game quite actively. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the 3 different areas that you can gain 4-star shards from that I've broken up in this spreadsheet. So I've got Arena, I have Alliance, and I also have Solo. So in Arena, the only thing that I do, and this is kind of my personal breakdown, might add, it's not all of the ways. There are a couple more ways that you can get a few shards, but these are all the ways that I deem most valuable to farm 4-star shards. And the first one is reaching that 1.5 million milestone in Arena every time the arena comes up. And for me, with my roster, it's about like 600k for a full burnout of my roster, so it only kind of takes me about like 2 and a bit hours to get to that 1.5 million milestone. For somebody in my position, it's quite easy to grind, because in the past, I've grinded that arena so many times that it just becomes easier and easier as your roster expands, as you get, you know, more champions and more powerful champions. It just gets easier and easier over time. But, you know, I've been there, I've been in the situation where it's a struggle to even get 1.5 million, but you know, you just have to keep on grinding. Like, that's the way to make the grind easier. It's fun. It's not, you know, it's not great advice, but it is actual advice. So reaching the 1.5 million, so if you do that like every round, you're gonna get 56 premium hero crystals every month. So it's 7 per week, and then we times that by 8 in a 28-day breakdown, because this is a 28-day to 30-day breakdown. Again, it's very rough. Look at the average month for shard game. So you're gonna get roughly 56 premium hero crystals, and let's assume like 6 of those on average are gonna be a 3-star champion. So at my level as well, like every 3-star champion is a duplicate, which means I get 55 4-star shards from that. So let's assume like 6 out of 56 were 3 stars, and boom, that's 330 3-star hero 4-star shards right there. Then we look at the 11 to 30% cutoff, because if you hit that 1.5 million, that's going to be, that's going to be the cutoff that you pretty much always land in. So that's 125 4-star shards, a total of that times by 8 over the spectrum of a month. That's 1,000 4-star shards right there. And also, as well as those shards, you'll get a 3-star champion. And if you're at my level of play, again, that's just an additional like 55 shards. That's what you view it as. So you get 8 times 55, and that's 440. So Arena kind of in a month, and that's not accounting for any basic champions, just if you were to go to the 1.5 million every time, that would be very roughly 1,770 shards. Now, if you don't have like 3-star champions, all of them already duped, that's going to be less. And if you do have all of them duped at dupe level 99, and you're getting potentially like 110 shards every time you dupe a 3-star, because when you dupe a level 99 3-star champion, you get this max signature ability crystal, which most of the time will just contain an additional 55 4-star shards. That's going to be even more, but you can roughly see that just by hitting that milestone like every month in Arena, that is like almost a 4-star champion. Now let's go on to the bread and butter of 4-star grinding, which is your Alliance. And Alliance is a huge part of getting a lot of 4-star champions on a monthly basis. So the first way is the 3-day event. So this is completion, it's item use, and it's the 2 arena ones. And for hitting the final milestone, you get 250 4-star shards. And this is always going on back to back. So over 30 days, times that by 10, that's potentially 2,500 shards if you can hit the final milestone for all of it. But with having this, you need an alliance that is dedicated, and it's dedicated to having every member put in a minimum for that event. So you take the final milestone, divide it by 30, and, you know, I'm in a top 250 alliance at the moment, so we have, like, this on absolute lockdown. So, like, every 3-day event, we're getting those 250 shards, and on a monthly basis, it really does add up. You know, it's an additional, like, crystal and a bit if you can get everybody to pitch in. So it's all about, you know, kind of finding like-minded people that are playing at the level that you're playing at. And the next one is Summoner Advancement. It's coming in the 3 to 5% bracket. We do that every week, and Summoner Advancement really is kind of the key to being successful in Summoner Advancement is having like-minded people, the people that are playing on the same tempo as you. If they're grinding all of the things, you're going to get more crystals, you can open them up, get more points, probably going to have more resources to upgrade their character. So at the moment, we always land in that 3 to 5% bracket. So you got the 475 times by 4 for 4 weeks because it's a weekly thing. So that's 1,900 very roughly on a monthly basis. And then you have the next two, which are via the Alliance Quest completion event. So I'll just quickly flick over to the game to show you which one this is. If we look at it's the 5-day event. So this is actually like on an 8-day rotation with Alliance Quest as well. So you get a ton of free star shards. It's 3,000 for milestones 2 and 3, and also 100 4-star shards for hitting milestone 4. So let's look at the breakdown of that. So we have 100, and then we're going to times it by 4, because we're roughly going to have this like 3-4 times in a month. So it's going to work out about 400, and then you have the free star value. So you get 3,000 every one. Let's say we're looking at 4 as well. So that turns out to be 12,000 free star shards. Which is 6 free star hero crystals. So we just times that number by 6. So you can roughly see there's about 730 shards to be got from just doing like map 5, like all of the time in Alliance Quest. So that's something at an endgame alliance that might be quite useful. And the next thing we have is Alliance War. So Alliance War is probably the biggest slice of the pie when it comes to getting 4-star shards. So let's quickly flick over to Alliance War in game and just talk about the 4-star shard breakdown and kind of the tiers and stuff. So if we look at the 4-star shards, providing that you're in like the top 20% of alliances, it's gonna be the same rate of 4 stars. It's only like tier 10 and below that the 4-star shards actually go down. But you know, as you keep progressing from like tier 9 to tier 1, you get a lot more 5-star shards, and that's the kind of onward thing there. But in regards to the 4-star shards, providing that you're playing at endgame, that you're fairly active, it's all going to be a similar rate of gain there. So you get the 4-star shards from winning, and also the 4-star shards from exploration. So my kind of tier 2, above tier 9, it's 266 for winning, and 168 for the full exploration. However, that number will vary a bit depending on how much, you know, of the map you can explore, and how difficult, you know, the defense of the enemy is. So if we flick back to the spreadsheet, I've rounded a little bit down for this just to make it, again, these are really, really rough calculations, but just to give you a rough idea of where you could possibly be improving on in terms of your 4-star shard farming. So Alliance War win, you're roughly getting about 400, right? 400 per win. So we've timed that by 7 on the assumption that Alliance Wars are going on every 2 days. So, and we're like winning 1 and losing 1. That's kind of the assumption in this breakdown here. Again, the huge variable to this is sometimes you're going to win like a lot more in a row, and sometimes you might lose a lot more in a row. So that's something to kind of keep in mind with this. But roughly, for most alliances, it's going to average out about 50-50. Like that's kind of the endgame average there. So we times that by 7, so because it's always going on. It's a 2-day event. So that's half wins and half losses in a monthly basis, and that's just under 2 fully formed 5-star hero crystals there. So you can see how important it is kind of being active and fairly decent in Alliance War to actually getting a lot of 4-star characters on a monthly basis. That is pretty much like a full 2 right there. And then we finally go on to the solo stuff, which is mainly the monthly event quest. As you can always guarantee like a few shards from that, and you have the heroic one. So for fully completing that, you get 400 shards there, and for master fully completing that as well, you get 200 shards, and also 3 stars. You get 1 for heroic and 2 for master mode. That equates to about 165 shards there. So total it's 765. So kind of just looking at the headline, you know, total for each aspect of the game. you can really see how important being in a good active alliance that always strives to kind of meet these milestones and progress in events really is for your, active monthly gameplay experience, because it's a huge part of that. For getting 4 stars, and the total for all of these is 11,515, so that's just short of 6. However, there are quite a lot of additional variables. I haven't included any premium hero crystal estimations from the alliance events, because you can get quite a lot of premium hero crystals every month from just doing those as well. And also I've added in kind of a list of additional variables on the right hand side to talk about stuff that might affect this, let's talk about so there's Alliance War wins, Alliance War exploration. We've covered how many 3 stars you've pulled from a premium hero crystal. Again, that is a huge variable to your 4-star shard gain every month, because you're going to be opening up so many premiums. How many max dupe level 2 stars you have. So again, when you reach those level 99 dupe 2 stars, you're going to be getting, instead of 55 3-star shards, you're going to be getting potentially 110 for every 2-star champion you have. Granted, that level does take quite a while to reach. I haven't got a single champion, bit of a fun fact, as a 2-star to dupe level 99 yet. So it takes a very long time to get that, but I do have quite a few 3-star champions that are sitting on dupe level 99 at the moment. But again, when you get those dupe level 99 2-stars, instead of 55 3-star shards from everyone, you're going to be getting on average about 110 more 3-stars, more 3-star dupes, more 4-stars. It kind of all spirals up in that way. And then the next 2 things you have are the monthly and event logging calendars. So, if we have a quick look at the monthly event calendar right now, we can pick out so many potential for 4-star shards there. You have Howard the Duck on day 25, who for most people, or myself, if you grinded him in Arena, is going to be a dupe. That's an additional 55 shards. Day 28 is 1,000 4-star hero crystal shards, so that already takes this month's total to kind of well over 12,500 shards. Then you also have these crystals on day 14, which can potentially as well give you some more 4-star hero crystal shards, or give you more 3-star shards or more premium hero crystals, most likely. And you also have stuff as well in the mix, the Valentine's Day character calendar, should I say, which is going to guarantee you a 3-star hero, so an additional 55 shards there, or might give you a fully formed 4-star hero, which you got to hope for. I mean, Scarlet Witch and Black Widow are in this crystal, so it's a pretty decent one. Then you've got the 7-day event as well, which, quite often, at the moment it's Dimensional Rift stuff, which is going to be really good when it comes out, but most often that's just additional premium hero crystals, so more premium hero crystals, more shots at getting potentially a 3-star or 4-star champion there. And then the final thing we have is the additional bonus events. So I've just put down example Dimensional Rifts. I think that's probably a great example. So at the middle of the month we have Dimensional Rifts coming up, so you could get potentially either a fully formed 4-star there from the Master Mode 1, or it's quite likely in the normal or heroic you've got a really decent chance of getting a stack of 200 to 400 4-star shards. So you can see how the variables all come together, and hopefully this makes sense and gives you a really rough idea of how it is possible every month for somebody playing at the endgame of Marvel Contest of Champions to get at least 6 characters. I mean, there are certain months where you can get really lucky, and from the shards you might just go on an insane spree in Alliance War winning, and you might even be able to get 7 or maybe 8 if the monthly logging calendar is quite generous. And that's not even including champions that you can grind from Arena as basics, or ones that you might pull from premium hero crystals. So anyway, hopefully this gives you an idea at endgame, if you're playing the game, if you're doing all the stuff, how easy it can be in a certain way to get a lot of 4-star champions. But if not, I hope you enjoyed me rambling on for almost 15 minutes about this. So if you found the video useful, feel free to leave a thumbs up. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you do have any questions, going to be trying to lurk around today and answer a lot of the ones in the comments. Let me know in the comments below, of course. Apart from that, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.